All right. Oh, is David gonna go do at the beginning, do it all, Christian?
Um,
That'd be good if maybe he could start at the
yeah, I
beginning.
think we should do it at the
Yeah.
beginning. What do you think about that?
I could do that.
All right.
Perfect.
How y'all doing?
Good, good.
No.
All right, let me share my screen then. Da, 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 da. All right, folks. My name is David Mound. I host a couple of other of our programs here with Nathan and Graham, and I'm here to introduce you to the new platform that Lance and Christian are going to be moving to starting this Wednesday, 2 days from now. Stonkamania will be on a new platform. Now, you can still use the same link that you used to get here, assuming it's lanceippolito.com/stonkamania. Or you can use the same link that you use if you attend Nathan and Graham's opening playbook or closing playbook, marketspg.com/NMC-live. So Lance has been part of the new money crew, but the stuff that Nathan and Graham do have switched over to this new platform, kind of worked out the kinks, and now Lance is moving over to it as well. So I'm going to run through a lot of things about the new platform. If you don't soak it all in one shot, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to go over it all again tomorrow, and we'll go over it again on Wednesday. But when you get to the new platform, you'll see a form like this one that says join the chat. There is a link there that says log in here. You do not need to log into this new platform. You just need to put in your display name and click join. So whatever you want to be known as in the chat, like Dave, you can just type that in and click join. Uh, the big area in the center of the platform is where the presentation will be. So that's where you'll see Christian and Lance and whatever they're sharing on their screen. The section below that is the announcements section. This is where we can put information and links that won't disappear as stuff goes scrolling by on the chat, right? So this is an area separate from the chat where we can put information that'll stay there for the whole presentation. On the right is the chat area. This is the group chat, which sometimes may be group, sometimes may be paused for the group, same as in Zoom. The bottom of that chat section is just like in Zoom, where you can type in your messages to send to us in the group. At the top of the chat area are a bunch of icons that control the chat. So the first one actually hides the chat area to give you more room on the screen for the presentation. The next icon is the default, which is the group chat. The one next to it is for private messages. We'll talk about that in a second. And the pin is so that you can view messages that you may have pinned to keep for later. And the icon all the way on the right, you can use to actually pop the chat out of the main window, just like you can in Zoom, if you want to put the chat like on a different screen or something like that from the main presentation. I mentioned private messages a second ago. If you want to send a private message to Christian or Lance during the presentation, you can click on any of their messages in the group chat and then click on that double speech bubble icon, and that will send a private message to Lance or to Christian. Either you can ask a question privately or send them your name, phone number, email, something like that without the whole group seeing it. That green column on the left is kind of useless. It just shows our new Money Crew logo. So if you want to shrink it to give more screen real estate to the presentation, you can click on that hamburger menu that you'll see at the top. It's 3 bars, and you click that, it'll just shrink that column on the left. Below the presentation, you'll see a speaker icon that will mute and unmute the sound from the presentation. So if you need a moment of silence, you can do that. If you accidentally click it, or if you just suddenly lose the sound from the presentation, double check, make sure you didn't accidentally click the mute button. In the bottom right corner are 2 icons that control the size of the presentation. The double arrow icon will make the presentation full screen. This will hide the announcements below and the chat to the right, but it'll give you the most screen real estate for the presentation. So if something's a little hard to read, you might want to temporarily make it go full screen with that icon. The button to the left of that is the picture in a picture icon. And what that'll do is shrink the presentation down into a little floating window so that if you're operating with just one screen and you want to maybe go to your brokerage account or do something else at another web page, you can shrink the presentation down into a little floating picture in a picture. However, the picture in a picture is browser and device dependent. So depending upon what browser and device you're using, you may not have the picture in a picture option. And that is all I have. So that's just a quick run through of what the interface will look like. Again, we'll go through this tomorrow as well as again on Wednesday, but Wednesday will be the first day that Lance and Christian are live in the new platform. You can continue to use the same link you used to get here today and every previous day, or you can use the same link that you normally use to get to opening and closing playbook if you attend those sessions. Either one will get you to the live presentation. That is all I have. Let me see if there were any questions about it. I don't see any, so I think we're good.
Thank you, David. Yeah, and if people are just joining in and kind of missed the beginning part of what David was saying, he's was saying that we're switching over to a new platform instead of Zoom. And if you did miss anything, David's going to be with us tomorrow as well, kind of explaining it. And then once we go live with the new platform on Wednesday for Stonkamania, David is going to be helping us out there as well. So no need to go look for other links. We can still use the same link, and the one that I post in, or we post in Lance's free Telegram. You can use that link, so you should be all good there.
All right, guys.
I
See
appreciate
you
it,
tomorrow.
David.
All right.
See ya.
David F. from Florida. What does he say? What bugs me is the space bar is also device dependent. I don't know what that means. Can y'all help him out? A Florida man?
I think he's trying to say there are one or two people that seem to have a problem with their space bar on the new platform, and I have no idea why. When they type messages in the chat, the space doesn't work. It seems to work for 99% of the people, and there are a couple people who it doesn't work. I think that's what he's referring to.
Mm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll troubleshoot that.
Yeah.
Or maybe restart the machine. All right. Wow. All right. Great job, David. And we got a lot of knowledge there, like Ty Lopez says. I think if you already go to Graham and Nathan's thing, I think it's the same platform thing,
Same platform. Yep.
right?
Yep.
Well, there you go. So, same. If you log on the new platform with an iPhone, the space bar doesn't work. Oh,
Oh, with an iPhone.
36% on PDD this morning. Great work. Doubled up in, man, everyone's trading CRWV. Did y'all see that short report this morning? Carisdale shorted it and it went up $10 on the report. You gotta laugh. It was CRWV with that almost $2 million order on Friday. It was pretty funny because the stock gapped up pre-market on the did it just hit? Was this one of y'all? Was this one of y'all in the chat who just slammed 137K on calls on CoreWave? Some of y'all I know trade big, so I gotta watch myself because it might be some of y'all slamming these orders. I see you if you're out there. If they're under $2, I'm gonna buy them. They're probably expensive. Let me look. Ooh, they're $1.70. Oh, oh, wow. All right. But yeah, I mean, they bought literally the dead low on CoreWave the other day. Literally the dead low. They bought September 12th. Well, where was that million? September 12th. Where are you? Here you are. September 12th at 1 o'clock. So September 12th, 1 o'clock. Right here at 106, and the stock is 120. Can't make that up, can you? Literally, they bought the calls right here. Can't make it up. It's a big order for CoreWave, almost 2 million. Pretty good. All right. So me and Christian, are we on YouTube, Christian?
We are on YouTube, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna do um a little something something on the something something today. Guilty. Scott, was it you? Because I used to have a guy when I used to be on my own. I made an ugly sum of money. I don't want to say. Tell me. Tell me. Carol made 1,127 bucks. We'll use a hypothetical entertainment account of money. How about that? How about that? So you can say it. No questions asked. All right. So we got a little what do you call it? When you have sketch bullet points, I guess.
Talking points
Talking points.
is what I
Yes.
call them.
Yeah, talking points. You know me. I don't ever come prepared. Like when David Mound was speaking, do you think I understood a word he said? No. It goes one ear and out the other. I feel like I'm in school again, you know. And then I'm gonna have to ask y'all 20 other times. What's the link? What's the site? How do I work it?
Where's the
Uh,
chat?
so talking points for the talking heads. What's today? September 15th, 2025. All right. So let's look at sentiment. I don't know if I spell that right, but
Close enough.
close enough. I don't know how to spell. You think I write my own stuff? Hell no. Rodney writes everything. Look, spell check. There we go. All right, I'll make it big for you folks with bad eyes, including myself. So let's go ahead and look at sentiment. So we're going to look at the CNN Fear and Greed Index. Who would have thought we'd be on CNN.com today, right? Let's look what the donkeys are doing. So the donkeys are the retail traders, the talking heads, basically the people who always get it wrong. So we moved into greed today. A little bit of greed. We were in neutral last week, and what happened? Market went up. So we are in a little bit of greed, but nothing crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll put slightly greed. Maybe we could do a screenshot. We can't. So we'll say 56, slightly greedy greed. We won't say greedy bastards because we're PG and YouTube will ban us. All right. So we're in greed. That means we can still get long, but we shouldn't get too crazy because when we get into extreme greed, we want to short the market or be neutral, defensive. When we get into fear, neutral, you want to buy. So why can the market still go up a little bit? Well, let me sound like a broken record for the 1 millionth time, just because I'm talking my book. We still have small caps that need to hit new all-time highs, the 244. And what do we have? It's a long-term bet in Zeta. And what do we have this Wednesday that will be the most sensitive? The small caps. So sensitive. They're like when you shave your face and it's all sensitive. I don't know what that feels like anymore, but so small caps will lead the way. If we look at today, small caps are up the most. Well, NASDAQ technically, because well, shit. The NASDAQ's too strong. But small caps can lead the way. So that means the crazy stocks that we trade, the Oklos, by the way, Oklo's up 11%. Remember it hit yesterday or last week on Platform X at 80? RZLV, the Lackeys, American Eagle, UUU, CoreWave, basically all the crazy stocks. Anything with a high short interest is up a lot today. So anything with a high short interest, basically flight to risk. So let's put flight to risk. So basically all the talking heads who told you to be defensive and conservative, they're not making money, right? So if you look, all the crazy stocks are up the most. The junky stocks, the highly shorted stocks are up the most, while the conservative stocks like Staples are down again. So boring, healthcare down again. So anything conservative is down. Flight to risk is on, hence why we've been trading short-term options in the crazy stocks. So now I have a question for y'all. GoPro made 52% up. So here's David F. Okay. So here's a perfect Jason, great job on GoPro. I mean, does it get much better than this? So again, it doesn't matter if the companies are going under, going bankrupt. The worst stocks, Wolfspeed, going bankrupt just the other day, and the stock is up, what, 5x? Those are the stocks to trade. So David F says, Roger recommended TKO this morning. Let's look at why. Does anyone know why TKO this morning? Why would someone recommend it? All-time highs. And what happened this morning on TKO? So you never, ever buy a breakout. What do you do on breakouts? You sell breakouts. You take profits. Who sold a lot of TKO this morning? I didn't even know he did that, but I don't talk to him. But who made a lot of money this morning on TKO? 33% on the stock. On the stock. So what did I do? Trimmed a lot of profits. So sell breakouts. Do not buy breakouts. You sell breakouts. You feed the ducks. Quack, quack. You feed them. The ducks, or I should say the donkeys, buy breakouts. So the time to buy is here, is here, is here, is here. And then you sell a breakout. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my Telegram and watch the video, How to Make Money Trade Options. It's on YouTube too. But you never buy breakouts, because what's going to happen after a breakout? This. Y'all know what the sizzler is? Blah. Blah. Because all the people who buy the breakout, all the donkeys, the market will take them to max pain, which is lower. And then when they get stopped out, the stock will go up again. Hey, some Lululemon calls. Wow. So let's look at Lulu real quick, and then I got some more questions for you. So Lulu, is this a good chart? No, it's horrible. Should you buy calls on a 52-week low? Probably. Why? Because what did we just say 2 minutes ago? The worst stocks are seeing the biggest moves. I actually don't mind these at all. How much are they? They're under like $1.20. I'll buy them. $1.70? It's kind of pricey. But Lulu probably bounces from here. Intraday looks good. Consolidating. Take out, kind of took out the prior high already. You could play a move back up to 165, 166. Not bad. I actually like this play a lot. They were cheaper, of course. All right. So now I got a question for you all in the chat. Right. The TKO already had news, right? They had their $800 million share purchase. So the news is already out. That's being reactive, not proactive. Remember, in trading, you want to be proactive, not reactive, right? That's the key. So let's go back to our sentiment. Because if you're trading, this is all you really need. Supply versus demand, institutional order flow, sentiment. See what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. So let me ask you all in the chat, because I was watching some guy short the S&P this morning. I guess he was shorting it last week. and he's getting his ass kicked. I won't say his name, but you guys might see him. What is everyone else doing right now? Go ahead, post in the chat. It could be webinar, it could be CNBC, it could be Bloomberg, it could be newsletters, it could be articles. What are y'all seeing right now? Last week, everyone was being defensive, y'all said. And what happened? Market rallied big league. So what are they doing this week? This week, they're hedging, they're shorting, they're selling stock. Oh, Lord. Pausing. Ooh. Defensive, waiting for a rate cut. So reactive. So it looks to be, maybe Christian, we could do a poll. What is sentiment right now that you guys are reading, hearing right now? Is it buy growth stocks? Is it defensive, or is it, we'll say hedging? I don't know how you hedge anymore, but wait until Tuesday. Wait. All right. So everyone's waiting. Pause before the storm. Okay. So this week, waiting for FOMC, pausing, hedging, defensive, bullcrap. Okay. Cash is a position. Oh, Lord. Well, after you make a lot of money, then you go into cash. All right. So what do we have this week? This is good. We're learning how to break down the stock market without looking at 1,000 S&P charts, right? All right. So what do we have this week? The talking heads, the Fed. What's going to happen on the Fed? You know, market's already priced in rate cuts. Does that matter? No, not really. But our boy, Pump Daddy, aka Trump, what's he telling the Fed to do? Psh, 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 pump up the markets, right? So you got King Pumper pumping up the markets. So Bassett, Trump, aka Pump Daddy, pumping markets. Will they stop? Hell no. Why? Because they love the markets. It's like a kid playing a video game. They can't stop playing the video game, even if you tell them to go eat their cornbread and I don't know what, maybe some pork chops. PDD just hit a new highs. Oof, I feel like a donkey because I sold it. All right. So if everyone's being defensive, hedging, I don't know how the hell they're hedging, but whatever. We'll let people lose money. Pausing, what should we be doing? Looking to buy, and ride up, aka squeeze them shorts. That's good English. Squeezing shorts is basically if everyone's short the market, we squeeze them, squeeze their butt together to where they can't take the pain. So hopefully, hopefully I don't get in trouble saying that. So we should be looking still for growth opportunities. And we saw that Musk actually squeezed everyone buying 1 billion in shares. So even Musk is doing it right now. Again, kind of a planned attack, what we're seeing right now in the markets. All right. So, gold, you're probably up a lot in gold. So let's look at the market maker move this week, shall we? Because you may be saying, Lance, why is the VIX up today and the market's up? Well, because FOMC. So they're implying, actually not a lot. Wow. They're only implying 62 points for the Fed. That's nothing. Wow. So they're only implying a 1% move this week in the markets. That's insane. So you know what you could do? You could actually buy Russell calls and probably play for a huge breakout. in the Russell. All right, but anyhow, let's go over Christian. What was next? I already forgot. So we know
Uh,
everyone's being defensive. We know everyone's not making money if they're following the pausing people. So what did we already do today? We got pretty aggressive and made, you know, pretty pretty good coin to say the least already. But we still want to look for opportunities, especially in Micron, right? Well, we got a lot of time in Micron left out there. Cornbread and caviar. Wow. All right, so let's go ahead and look at, you want to do a stock dissect on Micron or not? Or do y'all want to look at some flow? Or do y'all want to do a stock dissect? A stock analysis?
I think that would be good. And then the next thing that we had on the list was just look at some top tickers. So fits right in.
Okay. Michael took Micron profits. Well, you know who's the donkey who's probably going to buy Micron? Sean said he sold for 39% already. Well, who's the donkey who's going to buy Micron over these next few days? You're looking at him. By the way, shout out to my buddy Dennis. Where is he? Well, damn it, can't find your message. But my buddy Dennis said, ride the pony. I owe it all to the scanner. The big shout out to Dennis who made almost 5,000 bucks today. I don't know if y'all can see that on Tesla, Baba, and the pony. Very good. He's got bigger cojones than me because he held some calls. All right. So let's break down Micron, okay? And we'll do it naked. How about that? Y'all want to look at nakedness? Y'all want to we'll look at it from a naked perspective. How about that? Not actually naked, but God, YouTube's gonna hate me, aren't they? All right. Oh Lord, Micron, can you go down like 20, 30 bucks? All right, so let's look at Micron from a naked chart perspective because I really want y'all to understand market dynamics before getting too kind of freaky deaky. Does that make sense? So if you can look at it from a blank perspective and toss all opinions out the window, that's probably the best thing that you can start, whether you're new or you're old. To give you an example, Keith wrote a covered call. Never do a covered call. Good Lord. Yeah. If you want to do a covered call, Keith, do it on like an ETF. In individual stocks, because you always have news, it could be hard. But yeah, I'm not a big covered call fan, unless it's ETF. And then hedging on ETFs is usually good too, because you eliminate single stock risk. But yeah, right now, market's growth. I don't want to say don't hedge, but like covered calls and strategy, don't limit your upside. You know. All right. So we're gonna look at Micron from a blank chart because here's the number one thing I find with new traders. This is what they do. All right. This is the number one thing I find with new traders. If I could find this chart, I saw this chart the other day, and it had to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Hold on. Crap. Maybe it's under my downloads. Let me look. Because this is all right, here we go. This is what I see people do wrong. I saw this chart the other day. I won't say where. And I said to myself, back in the day, we used to make fun of people. There used to be like newsletters with guys with 10 different indicators and stuff. And we used to literally print them out and laugh. I used to print them on my boss's desk. So I saw this chart the other day. It was in T-Mobile, a stock that doesn't move at all. And I said to myself, what the hell is this? Moving average, VWAP, line. And I said, well, of course, the guy's going to be right because price is going to go to one of these white lines. But when you're trading, specifically short-term options, what the hell is this? None of this matters, right? So I saw this and then I saw another chart and I even put LOL. And I go, if you're new and you're looking at stuff like this, get a garbage can and toss your mind in the trash. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to break it down from a blank chart, just from supply and demand. And again, my master indicator just confirms this. I made this stuff 8, 9 years ago, and it still applies to today. All right, so let's just go back. We'll go back to Micron. I don't know. We'll just go back to like here. That's all we really need. We'll go back till 2024. All right, the 2024 Micron. And first thing, we look at volume. We had a volume breakout. So if you want, put the master indicator. So we had volume rising, so demand. God, that's a horrible spelling. Demand and volume rallying as the shares rallied. So it's a pretty parabolic move, 120 to 160. I mean, 50%. Good Lord. Good. We had consolidation, breakout. Here we had consolidation, breakdown on volume. Consolidation, consolidation, rally, consolidation, rally. So we got some pretty good strength on Micron. That's great. I mean, ideally, we already took out the prior high, which is kind of shitty, to be honest, because we've already hit some levels. But now, I want to go back on Micron and see, can we gap? So we have Micron on earnings in, what day was it? September 26th?
Yep.
Okay. And we have 1, 2, 3 bullish bets on Friday, about 1,700,000, let's just say 2 million. So we got 2 milli, which is good. It's not like 5 million like AFCO, but good. So 2 million Micron. So now I want to go and look. Let's just go ahead and put the master indicator so you can see what I'm talking about. Again, cheap plug. But again, I made it because I use it. I mean, so I'm just being honest with you all. And just like we said, we had volume demand. We had price going higher, consolidation, breakout. We might go back into consolidation. That's fine. So consolidation, followed by a high volume breakout. So consolidation, we need volume to confirm the trend or the breakout. We'll put BE, breakout, not the ticker BE. So now I want to do a history on Micron earnings and see over the past 4 quarters, does Micron move? Because obviously it's very important if we're going to do an earnings trade, right? This earnings, no dice. So 1 quarter of nothing. This earnings, small move lower. This earnings, big move lower. We'll call this big, we'll call this small, and we'll call this nada. So what was this? 110 to 85, that's pretty big. Let's do one more history. Here, we have a gap up, 96 to 115, $20 move, it's pretty good. Nothing here, gap up here, and as we go into, what were we? November, September, no move here. So we do get some moves, but nothing crazy. But basically, what I wanted to do on Micron, and this is going to be a trade setup you can do over the next, when's their earnings date?
September 26th.
Okay, so this is a setup you could do for the next 11 days. Probably add to it personally. So I basically said to myself, Lance, if you want to get freaky deaky and you're bullish on the market still, maybe even dumb long,
Sorry, I lied. It's the 23rd.
23rd. Oh, even better.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Sooner. Okay. So if we have the 23rd for earnings, and I think the market rallies, FOMC, maybe we get some volatility, but let's just say we rally, continue. How can I position myself to make the most money possible in Micron? Now, I know some of you got Avgo, some of you got Oracle, and made a gazillion extra money and all that mumbo jumbo, and I'm jealous massively. So I said to myself, what can I do in Micron to maximize my bang? If I'm right. If I'm wrong, I lose my full entire investment, which will probably be a few $1,000s. So how can I maximize my Micron bang, right? So you might be saying the easiest way is just copy the calls, right? Copy the September 26, 165 or 170 calls. True. But I'll be paying 630 or $5, which is a lot of money to put on earnings. So I said to myself, if I'm right, which I want to be, or else I'd be putting my own money where my mouth is, how can I maximize my bang? So let's say hypothetically, again, education purposes only for YouTube and all that stuff. Let's say Micron goes to 200. So we exceed the market maker move of $20. We double it. So we have a 2x market maker move. And let's say I buy the 170 calls at $5. So $5, the calls go to $30. What is my percentage gain? We'll use a calculator for easy math because we're going to do a couple more. So 5 to 30, I make 500%. Okay, that's good. What if I do the 165 calls for September 26th? So there's 630, and they would go to $35. It's 455%. That's okay, not great. So a little less. So obviously, buying the out the money calls gives me a bigger bang for my buck, right? Oh yeah, they also bought some sticks calls. Good long dated calls too. Good one, Kevin, for mentioning that. Yeah, they bought some sticks calls. Sticks is up $8. What? Sticks is up 15 today? What's the news on Sticks? Sticks, Micron, Lamb are all in the same kind of camp. Yeah, Lamb has been super strong too. LRCX. We saw some calls last week. All right. Wow. BTU, Peabody. Where'd that come from? All right. So how can I maximize? God, look at Peabody go. Another crap stock squeezing out the butt. Look at BTU go. Damn, these just hit. So how can I maximize my Micron trade if we get a move to 200? So far it's looking like the call options are the best, the 170s, but let's see if we do something else, maybe a call spread. So the 200 calls are 149. All right, possibly. Let's say I do hypothetically the 180, 190 call spread. It's going for about $1, and my max gain would be $10. That's pretty good, actually. So $1, I sell at $10, it's 900%. Not bad. Could we even get even more freaky deaky? Let's say we do the 180, 185 call spread. And about 60 cents to make $5. 700%. Let's say we do the 190, 200 call spread. Wow. We could do that for 60 cents to make 10 bucks. That's 1,500%. Wow. So I'm kind of leaning to a call spread. I can't believe I'm saying that because I usually hate spreads for earnings. But we can get some pretty good coin doing these spreads for Micron just because the vol in the 200 calls is so expensive. Wow, we might even be able to do like the 205 calls because we get 20 cents less and we go 5 more bucks. What if we do the 180 205 call spread? It's 185 make 25. 1,200%. Huh. I think we're going to do probably the 180 190 call spread. And that gives us how much again? Let's just say $1. We could make 900%. Oh, good job. Huh. What do y'all think of that? Do you want to do outright calls or spread it out? I mean, we're both getting a pretty good bang for our buck by doing a call spread or by doing the outright calls. We get a pretty good bang for our buck either way. Or we could do the 180 200 call spread for 165. So we have a lot of ways to play a home run. How much was that? 165 for 20 bucks? It's 1,100%. So we have some spreads and we have some single shots. Straight calls. Huh. So if we do straight calls, we're going to need a pretty parabolic move. All right. So we're going to need a move. Basically, we do the 170 calls. Let's say they're $5. We're going to need a pretty big move. Because here's the thing. What if, again, hypothetically, Micron goes to 220? Let's do that situation. Let's say Micron goes to 220. Best case scenario in the world. We buy the 170 calls for $5, and those calls end up being worth 50 bucks. I mean, you still do a 900%. If we do the call spread on Micron, let's say we do the 180, 190 call spread, our risk is basically, let's just say 105 to make 10. So 850%. If we do the 180, 200 calls, it'd be 165 to make 20 to 1,100%. Try the 185, 190. Let's try it. 185, 190. Yeah, it's not bad. So you're basically saying risk 50 cents to make $5. That's actually not bad either. Historically, the stock dumps on earnings. Yeah, I mean, I don't care historically. I'm just seeing if we get a big squeeze on earnings. How can I maximize it? So how can I risk the littlest amount to make the most amount, basically? That's not bad. You can do the 185, 190 for about 50 cents. That's not bad, actually. It's not bad at all. The assumption is it moves on earnings. Yes, this is only for a massive monster move. This is, if you want to be conservative, I know a lot of people who will do this. They'll tell you to buy the 150 calls, sell the 155 calls, and you'll risk 285 to make 315. I don't want that. I don't want to make even money. If I'm taking the risk on earnings, I want to make the biggest amount possible. All right, so let's do this. What are the percentage chances it reaches to? 200, 220, probably like less than 10%. That's why you're getting basically 10 extra money. So let's try this. Let's try, we can get a little friskier as we get closer to earnings. Let's try, because I actually like that trade. The one, because I really think this 200 could be a level. Let's try this 180, 185 call spread. That's 60 cents. What was it? 185, 190? There we go. So that would give us, let's say Micron's at 160 for easy math, plus 20. That gives us a 180 profit target. So we're slightly outside of that, hence why the 10x your money. Just thinking if we sell the 205 calls, should we not try to get some cushion on them? You know what I mean? Because I think if we go, they're going to defend 200 if we get a squeeze. So what if I do the 185, 205 call spread? Oh, wow. I might have just found a crazy trade. All right. I think I'm going to do the nuttiest thing possible. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the 185, 205 call spread. And I'm going to try to do that for maybe like 130. So it's a 1,500% gain if Micron closes next week at 205 or higher. Now, this is a very, 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 very low probability trade. But if everything lines up correctly, we could hit a home run. So let's go ahead and try that. And we'll keep it working for a while during the webinar. So we're going to do the 185, 205 bull call spread. Hopefully, if Micron goes down these next few days, we could get it for around $1. That would be ideal. You got filled at 130? Donkey Lance then. So hopefully over these next few days ahead of earnings, Micron goes down and we can get a lot. So I'll probably do, oh, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 grand worth. And that will be my year end. All right, I just got 132. I'll try 128 too, to make it an even 130. This will be my year-end FOMO lotto ticket earnings trade for the year. We'll pull that out there. So this is for the craziest move you'll ever see in Micron. Well, maybe not Micron, just in general. So I kind of like it now. I kind of like it. So we're basically risking $1.30 to make 20. That's pretty insane. But we're going to need a 2x market maker implied move, which is wild. But we'll go there. All right, Christian, what do we have next on the deck? Or, you, of course, if you don't want to spread it out, you could just buy the outright call. You know what I want to do too for my players out there who love to roll the dice? Me. Because I'm right there with you all. Who wants to roll the dice on outright calls? We'll do an outright call too, just so we can track it from the news flow scanner. So I'll do an outright call too on my Robinhood account. So I'll do the 170 outright calls too for next week. Make sure you do next week expiration. Very, very important. I'm going to try to do those at $5. Make you holla. So we're going to double up. And again, as we get closer to earnings, we'll probably continue to add to it. Because I want to do about maybe 4 or 5 grand. And on September 24th, I'll either be hopefully 50 grand richer or I'll be 5 grand poorer. Hey, at least I'm telling you the truth. Oh yeah, Meta has a BTU on the highs now. Meta has their conference Wednesday night, by the way. Just a heads up. And speaking of that, Meta 800 calls hitting the tape. Wow. What? Meta 800s? These can't be more than 50 cents. There's no way. They're a buck 88? Wow. Market makers ain't playing. Meta has their conference Wednesday night, or start their conference. Holy crap. Wow. All right. Wow. They ain't playing. All right, Christian, what do we have next on the deck?
I think we're gonna go over Shadow Trader today with everybody.
Ah, yes. So we got some goodies for y'all. Oh yeah, did we have all the testimonials? Did
Yep.
you
Yep. Got everybody's over the weekend. Yep.
do you have them or do I have them?
Uh, you have them.
Did you send them to me?
Yep. I will send them to you again.
Okay. Yes. We're not again, we're looking for a squeeze on sentiment. If you want to go back and look at historic data, that's great, but we're we are we are proactive or we are adapting to the market, not looking at the past. All right, well, here's some great testimonials. Thank you guys and girls. We will have a new one tomorrow,
Yep.
actually. UNH was very good. Yes. Please keep these low stress trades going. All right, thank you all. Christian made them in a nice sheet for y'all too. All right. That was fun. Oh, and I also have something new for those Friday royalty things. I have can you look at the screenshot Rodney sent? I can't look at it here. So we'll look at it more tomorrow. Actually, oh, I'm supposed to pull it up tomorrow. Well, I'll pull it up tomorrow and look at it because we do the trades on what, Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah, so I will show you the Friday royalty board tomorrow. Can't show it today, I guess. Supposed to wait till tomorrow. All right. I do whatever they tell me because I can't get canceled again. All right.